Hey there, everyone. My name is Frank, the Blockbuster Guy, and I have a very special topic for today. And that special topic is about the Star Wars Expanded Universe EU movement, aka Give Us More Legends. If you don't know what the EU movement is, I can explain it to you right now, real quick. Back in 2014, Disney decided to reboot a main portion of the franchise, the Expanded Universe, pretty much labeling any content of the EU from back then to be labeled as the Legends banner. And with that, all the stories, all the games, all the comics, all the books that were in development were all canceled. Now, naturally, many fans like myself were very upset by that decision by Disney. The movement is not about bashing Disney's new continuity or the film. It's about basically us as fans all over the world asking Disney to continue the old EU stories and in continuing the Legend Banner storylines. Like, there are many stories that have been done throughout the years, many characters, adventures, this and that, all put on a screeching halt. And there's a high chance that we may never see the continuation or some conclusion of their stories. And a lot of fans, like myself in general, just want to see these stories to continue to bloom and blossom. So, let me talk real quick about the expanded universe. The expanded universe has been a very big thing for Star Wars. Some can even argue that the expanded universe was one of the main contributing things that kept Star Wars very relevant after the original trilogy ended, up until Star Wars A Phantom Menace. It did a lot for the franchise, and it influenced a lot of things in Star Wars in general. In my personal opinion, the EU helped shape the prequel trilogies. Many things from the EU were used in the prequel trilogies, and heck, when you look at The Force Awakens, a lot of its plot, you could pretty much say that it was inspired by the EU. And that says a lot about the EU. It influenced the prequel trilogies. A lot of it is in the prequel trilogies, and The Force Awakens is pretty much Disney's adaptation of the Legacy of the Force series. And there are just so many things I can say about the EU, but I gotta start wrapping this up. I'm gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as I can so that I can start talking more about the Billboard project. So let me start off by talking about why discontinuing it was a bad idea. Discontinuing the expanded universe was a really bad idea on Disney's parts for many various reasons. It put a big shift in the fandom. Like, there's never been such a divide in the entire history of Star Wars. You could argue that the prequel trilogy was that big divide, but no, this was even bigger. You have old fans, new fans, everyone is divided, and it causes a lot of arguments and debates. And you can also say that Disney has lost a lot of profit on the books. Like, many fans like myself have protested buying any of the new books. A lot of this can be remedied if they just continue the EU. If Disney ever decides to continue the EU from the books, the comics, and the games, many fans like myself will stop protesting Disney and start buying their stuff again. It's a win for Disney, they get more money, and it's a win for the fans, continuing the stories that they've grown to love throughout these years. Now, let me tell you about this Billboard project. This project was a very positive project in my opinion. Throughout the 2 years of the movement, Disney has basically shunned the fans, barely even listened, and it looked like they're actively ignoring us. And I think with this Billboard project, which this billboard for like a month and a half up until mid May is going to be right there in front of Lucasfilms. So whenever the employees of Lucasfilms will be going to work, they will see that sign every day, and it's something. Maybe Disney will acknowledge us finally. Maybe they will consider it because here's the thing. There are many series that have more than one timeline and more than one continuity. Star Trek has, like, from what I've been told by many friends, at least three, four, or five, not counting the TV shows. Another example to that is that look at how the comic book industry handles multiple continuities and multiple universes. Marvel and DC, like, just those two alone, they have multiple universes within their own continuity. Heck, when they do reboots every 10 or 15 years or various of times, there are off chances they do continue those other universes every now and then, while at the same time their main universe is going on. Alright, so here's a clear example from the Marvel side. Take a look at Spider-Man. Throughout the years, there's always multiple continuity Spider-Mans that exist in their own universes that are always ongoing at the same time. Let me give you good examples. Ultimate Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Superior Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099. It varies. Throughout the years, it just changes, but you get what I'm trying to say. That's just with Spider-Man alone. And then you got things like, look at The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, basically, there's a comic and there's a live action adaptation. The live action, while it does use some material from the books, it goes its complete own direction, while at the same time, the comic book series is still its own continuity. They're both thriving, and they're both pretty much making a lot of money, which Disney should take notes on. And it's like, Star Wars, one of the big things back then was that everything was all tied down to one whole, basically, continuity. And honestly, since that's been broken now with the reboot, there should be no problem with them basically having more than one universe. Like, you'll keep the fans of the new continuity happy with their material, and you'll keep fans of the old continuity with their material. Either way, it's a win for Disney. I'm hoping that they'll pay attention to this. It's a really nice thing, and if you're interested in seeing the Billboard, I'll post the page of the Indiegogo project, which will basically show the location of the billboard if you want to see it for yourself, and a link of many comments of several fans that want the EU back. And I'll link the main website where you can take a look at it as well. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name is Frank, the Blockbuster Guy, and I'll catch you guys later. Catch ya!